I found this text. It's Python Software Foundation Code of Conduct, and it's a list of rules and some examples how people should communicate and work on new functionality of Python, because Python have a lot of guys who writing some libraries and some new functionality, and they should communicate. And Python community create this list of rules, and everybody who work there should use these rules, and we can discuss these examples, how it can be useful not only for developers and for other guys in other spheres, and how it's alright for other spheres. For example,
Wait a second. So the rules are like so just the internal team communication.
Like when you work in some company, in this company exist rules like don't be asshole, and
rule number one.
And if somebody broke this rule and it guy is asshole, this guy should be removed from this community.
Can I ask you a question? Like, do they have the criteria of how asshole a person is? Like, is there a range, like from 0 to 100? how to what extent asshole you are? Like, is there a limit? I mean, like, is it okay to be 60% asshole in the company, or like?
I think it depends on real situation, and if it's a company with and it's company of assholes, and one guy more asshole than other, it
right.
means
Oh, that's what they call culture fit, right? So like our company is 100% asshole. If you're like 0% asshole, you don't fit.
Yeah.
And then like in an interview, so this position is for you. Yeah, we hire you. You're hired. Welcome to the team of assholes. Okay, yeah, sorry.
First of rule is being open. Like members of the community are open now to collaborate with this on peers, which is problem of otherwise. I think it's alright if you open with community. If you don't close something from other guys, it should be a rule for alright communication, not only for developers. Focusing on what is the best for the community. It rules can be useful for everybody in other spheres, because if we work in community, if we doing what should be better for this community, it's right. Because if somebody wants to do something good only for him, maybe he will create some hidden stuff or pushing some idea, and this idea has value for other company and not for community. It work for other company, not for community. It's all right too. Do you know some examples in other spheres how people can do something not for community?
Something not for the community.
Yeah, if people work in community and they doing something together, and one creates some idea, and this idea should be best not for community, for some person or some company.
Oh, I'm just trying to figure this out. All right, can you give an example?
Maybe, it can be like for bus drivers.
Okay.
If you driving alright, you driving safety, and
Right.
you don't drive so fast, you spend one item of gas. But if you communicate with gas station, and you driving in by special way, and you will spend more gas than you can, it will be value for gas station, not for company.
Oh, Okay, I think I see what you mean. It's like when a person is working for the company for the sake of his or her own benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I see. So, and this rule like is intended to kind of protect the team of developers, so that no one kind of has a side job or something, or like.
No, it means like you creating, you have roadmap and you plan it to do this functionality. But somebody in this community realize that if we will do other functionality, it will be useful for only for one company. And he push this idea. He pushes this idea for interest of this company. Maybe it can be example for psychologist company, and when somebody in this company realizes that I can broke mental health for these guys, and these guys will need to other help, and I will do well.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Yes. Like there might be like a boxing ring, right? A boxing community, like where regular matches, are organized. Yeah. So in this like boxing community, yes, could kind of collaborate with the local, like orthopedic salon or something. Like because they know for sure beforehand, that after the match someone is going to get like fucked up, right? And so they are going to need the help from some medical local shops, right? Like it's not really shops, but I'm talking about so some other places that can help them get fixed, right? That would be a really nice way to collaborate. But I think I've actually heard, so no, that was a joke, of course, but I think I've heard that so you mentioned psychologists, and that's true. Like there are some family psychologists who kind of collaborate. It's not intentional, right? But let's say different people come to ask for help from psychologists, and when a psychologist realizes that this particular person might be useful in some certain scenarios, like if that person is kind of a lawyer, right? So who deals with the family rights. Maybe that's the case of divorce or something, right? So these psychologists, like, if they realize that the case is fucked up, so they might like ask or offer that lawyer, kind of, pick up on that and kind of proceed working, right? And like kind of ensure, the legal advice in this case, like, so first initially they start with a like a psychology case, but then they ended up with legal case, through this. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah. See, like, it would be some nice productive collaboration within different communities that kind of, that put different spheres, and areas like together, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So, and now it is also in the list of like Python software developers code.
Yeah.
Nice.
We can continue acknowledging time and effort. We're respectful of the volunteer efforts. The pyramid, the Python community, we thoughtful when address the effort of other, keeping in mind that oftentimes the label was community simplified for the good of the community. I didn't understand what it means.
When addressing the efforts of others, wait a second. When addressing the efforts of others, keeping in mind that oftentimes the label was completely simplified for the good of the community. Okay, so as far as I realize what that is, that for me. So that's partly the main key is the volunteer efforts, right? So like so you're doing this not on the not for the purpose of benefiting from the project by making money, right? So it's probably like they wouldn't get paid for that, but if someone is like beginning developers, yeah, some like junior developers, yeah, if they have some ideas, if they are ready to sacrifice their precious time for that project, so they might just probably come to that community and say like, right guys, so I would like to contribute, yeah, somehow, like for no money, and yeah, just let me know what I can do. Is that this?
Maybe.
Acknowledging time and effort. Time and effort. We're thoughtful when addressing the efforts of others, keeping. And that also means that, like, if someone comes, like, to volunteer in their community, it also means that the community is kind of thankful for them, right? So they don't say just. So it's probably it's creating a whole different sort of communication there, yeah. Like imagine in your company someone just join your join your team to help your project. And like normally, if they were getting salary for that, so you would have, so your relationship would be, you know, just internally internalized there, which means that, so they would be your subordinates maybe, right? So like, so and you would be able to tell them what to do, right? And like, so they would receive tasks from you, and like you would control that. So maybe that just reduces the amount of control there. Like, you're good if someone just joins the team to kind of collaborate, and so the point of this one is, as far as I understand, like just respect their effort, yeah, and just, you know, not to well, you know, control what they're doing pretty much, like as long as they commit their time, yeah, so that already means a lot.
Yeah, it links with previous idea for.
It's very similar, yes.
Yeah, and next is being respectful of different viewpoints and experience. Yeah, it's can be useful for any spheres, and because if everybody will respect other different views, like and different experience, it can be useful for community, useful for good work, because if you don't respect other different viewpoints, it can create some miscommunication and something like somebody trying to describe idea and you don't respect her experience and this viewpoint, you can reject this idea, but actually if you will listen him a lot, you realize that it's a good idea, and it's not so long time for the stuff, and I think this point about if you be respectful and you should spend this time, it's not a lot, and just listen people, and I think it can be useful for every spheres. Maybe it doesn't work if it is some emergency work, like if you work in a fire station, I don't know, it's called like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you work in fire station and somebody, new guy said, we can use other car or we can use other water for fixing this situation, and no, we can discuss this, and while
Let's schedule a meeting.
yeah. Oh, we respect your opinion and we will listen. And, waiting for, while this house is be on fire.
Yeah, you're so right. Like it really depends on the situation, and it would not apply, yes, to certain conditions, like, you know, that require your immediate reaction, just like with this fire station. So they have to be, you know, to follow quite strict rules and react immediately. That's for sure. But like, you know, in case with companies, you know, that can kind of take time. I mean, so time is also a precious resource in the kind of like, you know, the. So when you start a project or like a sprint, so you kind of allocate resources, you have budget and time as well. So and when you kind of allocate that time, so it means that you can like arrange and schedule some meetings, yeah. So you can like discuss everything. So that works really well for that in that situation. And I think that goes along with the idea of like diversity too. You know, that has been there for quite a while. You know, because like these days, especially developer communities are so diversified. I mean, so like developers come from different countries, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so each each of the right, like everyone just contributes something unique, perhaps something special. If you studied like in India, if you work with Americans, with Europeans, with Japanese, perhaps Chinese, whatever. So like each of you, of course, will have like a very different probably viewpoint, right? I mean, imagine a company that has like one viewpoint on things. Like that would be probably the most restricting company ever. Yeah, so like that just there's someone who just tells everyone what to do. That would be counterproductive, perhaps.
Yeah.
Imagine a country where there's like a single person that tells everyone what to do. Of course, like this is totally unrealistic scenario. But just imagine. Well, that would be probably counterproductive a bit.
And next is shown empathy towards other community members.
Empathy, all right.
It links with previous. All of this looks like about respecting. And most of them not about some technical stuff, most of about community rules and communication between people. And
this is purely like about soft skills. The problem here is that before you join that community, like it kind of implies that you, by that time, you already like kind of have formed those soft skills. Like if someone joins their community who kind of like has very poor soft skills, so that would be a problem perhaps, just to collaborate with the others. Because this is a lot about empathy, and empathy is also a resource, like because you may have a lot of time, yes, you may have a lot of tasks, but to show empathy also takes effort, right? And you need to know how to do that properly, and imagine like a situation where you have a very tight deadline and everyone is just working their ass off, and like there might be some tricky situations like where it's probably kind of challenging to show empathy. Right, so that might be a potential issue here. So like, but it's interesting that they have this on the list, like they kind of ensure that it's sort of like it sort of is meant to guarantee this like nice polite communication within the company.
I got this list of rules from one news, and this news was about one guy who contribute a lot in this community, and this guy was rejected for I don't remember, maybe for 2 months. Because he reject these rules, and a lot of guys in comments for this news write that it's not okay. He contributes a lot, and he shouldn't be rejected from community. We think that everybody needs this guy, but there was only one comment from one guy. He said that. This situation is good. It's all right because toxic guys should be rejected. It doesn't matter how much he knows about technical side, because it can be somebody like unicorn, but actually I'm not sure. I believe that unicorns in developer community not so. It's not so unique side. I believe that it can be done, by not unicorns, and everybody can do that, but they need more time for doing this. But if everybody will be so toxic, community can't work, and it's really important. And I think that this comment from this guy who said the toxic guy should be rejected. Only one comment, and who should be at top of this list. Because working with toxic people is really hard. Maybe it can, if it is not community or really small community, and this in where I work maybe 5 guys, and it's really hard guys. It's 5 unicorns, and they really toxic, and everybody from this community can do this work. It's alright, but if it is a big community and there is a lot of guys, it should be polite community. Because if you can't do your work without toxic side, and your mental health will be attacked every week, will be moment when you will be mental broken, and you just can't continue do your job.
My main concern here is like who decides and who makes decisions. Whether like to exclude a team member from the process just because they are toxic. Like who agrees on that? Who makes the decision?
For this situation,
is it like a panel, or is it just one person who says you're toxic? You're respected.
In this situation was I don't know, maybe 5 guys who like C-level guys who make decisions that this guy not linked with these rules, and they make this decision for rejection for 2 months.
And do they like? Is this decision immediate, or does something precede this? I mean, do they, let's say, do they allow that person? I mean, do they let that person know that he's kind of that he is soon going to be in the blacklist? Like, do they tell him, and do they allow time for that person to kind of improve the communication and behavior before they expect him?
I think not. I think it works like...
So it's like an immediate decision.
Yeah, I think it likes legal stuff.
Okay.
If, for example, if you live in real life and you broke some, and you make some illegal stuff, nobody will get you some advice. No, you shouldn't kill people. You should be polite.
Yeah. Okay.
Second time, be careful.
Okay. Yeah, but that's a bit different domain. I mean, I'm wrong, but like, isn't that like when they make that decision, all right? I mean, this toxicity can kind of be converted to financial results, of course, right? So when if they see that kind of maybe they are behind the schedule, right, and maybe they're not going to make it on time because of the behavior and interaction of the team members, when they just see numbers, and when they see that the sales are falling, for example, so they can try to identify the problem, and they would find out that there's a communication problem in the team, right? And when they see like who causes that issue, so like they can kind of track it down to one person and eliminate that component, and so later what do? Like, do they check if like sales grow again if they eliminate one person of the team? I mean, like this sounds a little too vague to me in terms of that. Like, how do they monitor that? Like, how do they track it? And how do they make decisions about that? Because if this is not backed by any data, right? So this should be like data-driven decisions probably. If that is not supported by any data, like that probably would be ultimate toxicity from the C-level. Like, shouldn't they be eliminated from the projects? Like, because like they do not let the others do their job, right? And like just because they say, okay, you're suspended, like you're not going to work on this project for 2 months, aren't they being toxic when they when they make that decision? Like that's my concern.
Yeah. Maybe. No, I think it's not toxic because it wasn't decision like this guy just work, and in one moment C-level said, okay, you reject for 2 months. No, it was decision with description. They said you broke this role and this role and this role. You can't continue working for 2 months, and this is reason. And in the second time, you should think about this before doing this.
Okay, I have another question. So, if a volunteer joins that project or a community of Python developers, like, do they make sure that they read the rules? And
Yeah.
So they learn the rules at the first stage. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's all right for every community when you get some job. If it is all right job, they will describe you how they work.
Okay.
They have description how it calls like how we work, and they describe some rules, some ideas, and maybe processes. And you understand how it works, and if you don't understand, you should ask. And if you don't ask, it means that you're not so qualified for this work. And if you don't check community rules, and you communicate with community, work with community, and in one moment you broke these rules, it means that you're not so qualified for this work, and it's alright. Because if you don't have qualification, you shouldn't do this work.
Okay. I mean, I really hope that these rules are made by, really thorough thinking, and like, so I'm pretty sure that they are based on years and years of practice, like of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah,
and like, so this is probably the essence of something that maybe they started practicing at some point, and then they offered this to a wider community, like, look guys, this actually works, right? So I really hope that this is like, this has long history. But another issue here might be is that these rules are made up. I mean, so you just like, take them out of your mind, and you know what I mean, like you make them up. These rules, they are not like, it is something that you need to learn, right? And what I'm trying to say is, so there are like tribes of meerkats. Let me write this down. Yeah, like, these kinds of guys, right? They are animals. Okay, so and it's just like, it's how meerkat tribes work, and many other like animal tribes work. So they come to that community. They don't have the language to talk about the rules, how these animal communities work. Yeah, so they're just born there, and what they do is just the like behavioral actions. Like if you, for example, decide to like escape your tribe, your community, so you're punished for this, by nature. So they are like natural rules, right? And in their community, there are also a lot of rules. Like, if a tribe like is traveling within the zone of 3 kilometers, right, these meerkats, like there's an assigned meerkat that is like watching, it's kind of providing security for that tribe while everyone is sleeping. So one meerkat is just standing there. And like is trying to protect everyone while they're sleeping. One meerkat is not sleeping, okay, and they do not have the language to agree. It's just natural behavior. So my concern about these rules, like whether they should also be kind of natural as well. I mean, if there's a toxic guy who joins the team, like what's the point? Yes, of just let's say. Of retaining such employees in the community, like, so probably like maybe that would be a bit too strict, so to just let them go, like to fire them, like to say no, you're not going to work here because like we have our rules, right? So, and you're not following that, goodbye. It's like what I'm trying to say is that there are some developers probably who by nature probably cannot work with people. Okay, and like why I mean, of course, like on the other hand, we are an intelligent community. Yeah, we have brains and we have language, so we have those tools. But I'm just trying to see connection between this and like how it is done in nature. If you see what I mean?
Yeah. I think actually this rules, it's natural rules. If you alright person without some mental problems and you know how to communicate with people, you don't need to read these rules.
Right.
You will communicate like nature person.
Yeah.
But if you live not like natural person and you trying to be natural and you trying to maybe if you work a lot in some with toxic guys in a small company and you make decisions that I want to work with this community and I realize that I work with psychologists and my psychologist said you're a toxic guy, you should change something in your life, and I trying to realize how I can do it, how I can be a normal person. And after that, I should check these rules and realize that, oh, okay, I don't respect other opinion, and I should. And
I got it. Okay, so this is an insight, you know. So this is the connecting point of tech and humanities here, because like, unlike natural tribes, yeah, like of meerkats or any other animals, unlike them, so we still kind of manage to find a way how to give people a chance. Right? Like, okay, so they might be a bit like, you know, dysfunctional in terms of society. Yeah, but these kinds of rules still give them a chance, yeah? So that, I mean, so imagine like a developer with mental issues, right? So, but who's really talented at that stuff, yeah, who really wants to join this and like, who's ready to contribute this, but he's like totally asocial guy. If they like read this stuff so they can learn, yeah, and maybe like reevaluate and just, you know, decide what really matters to them, like if they really want to stay kind of a social and like, you know, be the third wheel, yeah, and well, either so they still want to be useful, yes, to the society, and these kinds of rules are, you know, kind of humanity based, yeah, so they are humane pretty much, yeah. So on this side, yeah, I agree, this is a really important set because like it still gives you a hope, right? And it kind of ensures, yeah. I think there's a point, yes, about this. Wait a second, like two different viewpoints and experiences. So it's like about the diversity of experiences, yeah. So it's inclusive in some way, right? You know that term, like it's these things, like, you know, therapy and everything could be kind of a handicap to people with mental issues, like a tool, yeah, for them, like, you know, so they could find therapy, but still something that helps them perhaps make their contribution, yeah, to like to develop their community, perhaps on the humanity side too.
yeah.
Right. Okay, what do we agree? There's a nice match here between this, like, you know, purely tech stuff, right? So something that like that you really have to learn, yeah, your way through this, and humanities. So I think, yeah, this is a really interesting point. Yeah, well, thanks for showing this to me. That's a lot of food for thought.
Cool. I think for the session enough.
Yeah.